Okay, so in this video I thought we'd go ahead and talk a little bit about cabinets. When it comes to recording guitar, this is, this is just the basics of how I record guitar, and this may absolutely not apply to you, of course. But I have an ENGL 4x12 cabinet with vintage 30 speakers in there. It sounds amazing, when you're listening to it in the room. So basically what I do when I'm about to record with a new cabinet, because this ENGL cabinet right here was new to me, when I got it. What I usually do to determine in what way I should place the microphone or the microphones in front of the cabinet is actually by taking Shure SM57 or something very similar and record each element of the cabinets. In this case, that's a 4x12. That means it's 4 12-inch elements in there. You know what I'm talking about. So I place the microphone in the very same spot on each speaker, so to speak. And I record 4 different tracks, not at the same time, because, you need to have, if you have only one microphone, you need to move it to each speaker, and you have 4 tracks in the GarageBand or whatever software you're using. And then you make like a stair of it. You cut out pieces of each track so that when you're hitting the play button of all the 4 tracks, it will play a little part from track 1, a little part from track 2, a little part from 3, and then 4. So when you're listening to it, it sounds like a song, so to speak. But you can hear the differences in between each element of the cab. There is always one element in whatever cabinet you're using that sounds a little bit better than any of the other ones. In my case, in this one, it's the bottom left one that is, it's sounding great. I think it sounds great. So when I have, when I have that recorded, and have determined which element or speaker I should place my microphone or microphones in front of, I usually, moving around the microphone a little bit to see where on the cone I should place the microphone. Usually just in between the very middle and the cone, in between there. So most of the time I'm adding a microphone, and to avoid any phase problems or anything like that, I most of the times using 2 microphones on the same speaker. That is a little bit tricky, because ideal would be to have 2 exactly the same cabinets and have the cabinets far away from each other and record it that way. However, that's not the case for me. So when I'm doing that kind of stuff, it's very, very important that you line up the microphones so that the audio hitting the microphone at the very exactly the same moment, because if it doesn't, then you have a phase problem. Phase problem you can turn it in a good way, or most of the times, if you're not very, you don't know very much about this kind of stuff, then it's a bad thing, I would say. So we're actually going to go ahead and take a listen on what I recorded, on this ENGL cabinet right here. I haven't touched anything. It's exactly the same guitar. It's a Telecaster with EMGs. I'm using a Shure SM57. I'm using this Marshall DSL100H. You know, the same pedal. So I didn't touch anything else. Just moving the microphone to exactly the same spot with exactly the same distance from the speaker to the face of the microphone. And we're gonna, you know, if you're listening with headphones, you will hear the difference very clear. So let's go ahead and take a listen on what I recorded, these 4 tracks from the same cabinet. So let's take a listen at this. So in my case, it's actually this track right here, which is the bottom left in my ENGL 4x12 cabinet. So take a listen one more time, especially when you come to this speaker right here and comparing them to the rest of the speakers. So, you know, this is very individual, what you're thinking sounding the very best, but I think this one, the bottom left element here, the bottom left speaker, so to speak, is the best sounding in a way that is very smooth. It's not as harsh as these other ones. So there you go, guys. This is the method I'm using. Especially when I'm having a new cabinet, or if you have a cabinet but you didn't really think about this kind of stuff, I think it's a good idea to make some investment in a good microphone like SM57 or something very similar, and do it like this way and see the difference in your cabinet and see what you like the best. But I think that the best way to determine which speaker you should use when you're recording to get the best result, well, the best result that you like the best, that is the most important thing. That is to make this kind of like a stereo recording, kind of like with 4 channels, different channels that you just saw. It makes it very easy to listen, and when it comes to each track, you can hear the difference in the speakers. When you decided which speaker you should use, you can always move the microphone a little bit on the cone to see where it's where it's sounding the best, so to speak. And also you can add in a second microphone, and I will make a video on phase problems and how I think it works best for me to record with 2 microphones with only 1 cabinet. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I would be very happy if you go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until next time, take care now. Bye bye then.